Hey guys, welcome back to Boots and Betty Homestead. We're continuing to take you on our journey of figuring out this freeze dryer thing. So we're going to do the next, I guess, quickest and easiest thing that most people do, and that is eggs. So we're going to take you along and show you how we are doing our eggs. Now we do have the new model large that has the 6 trays. And so we've got Logan, who's actually going to float the eggs just to make sure, because we've gotten so many stacked up on the counter. Want to make sure they're okay. And then we're just going to put them in a 8-cup measuring bowl, because we have found that our trays, well, not the silver trays, but the actual lids, because we're doing something a little different. We're actually pre-freezing inside the lids, and then we're transferring to the trays. So we're going to pre-freeze in these lids, and then, of course, they're going to be in the freezer overnight at least, and then we're going to put them on the stainless steel silver trays. So those will just flip over, pop out, and then they go straight into the freeze dryer as being pre-frozen. We didn't want to have to tote them all the way out there for one reason, it being all liquid and having so far to go, because we have to go out to the pantry where we've got the freeze dryer set up that you've seen. And another reason why is we're cutting down on freeze dryer time, because we've got so many vegetables and everything that we're trying to do at once. So what we're going to do now is Logan's going to go ahead and float the eggs, make sure they're okay, and then we're going to get up to 6 cups in the measuring cup, and then we'll put them in the lids in the freezer, and we'll show you that setup in a second. Okay, so if you guys don't know, what he's doing is he's testing to make sure the eggs are okay. And in some water, as long as it's deeper than the egg is tall, what you're going to do is you're going to see if it floats, sinks, or stands on end. So if it floats, it's a fail. If it sinks,
safe.
It's safe. That's right. So if it floats, it's a fail. If it sinks, it's safe. If it stands on end, you better hurry up and do something with it. So he's
all these are standing on the end.
Yeah, because they're actually a couple weeks old. And all of the air has settled in the ends, so the longer they sit, the more that air is going to sit on the end, and then they're going to stand up. But fresher eggs, within 3 or 4 days old, they should be able to sink to the bottom.
That one looks weird. It looks weird.
You can crack it over the bowl.
That's saturated. Almost good. Messed
Almost
up.
got yolked.
Yep, it's almost on me. Actually, we're doing the counter, but.
So we figured out that 27 eggs equals the 6 cups that we are safely putting in the lids.
Maybe.
Alright, don't mind the lack of counter space over here, but he's going to use the immersion blender.
Dandy, dandy. She was using a whisk.
Yeah.
I said, how about that immersion blender thing? She said, oh yeah. Well, that's just what Logan gave me. I say make it as easy as possible. Just don't make custard. That's what Casey said.
The bottom button is high.
I know. I'm not making custard.
I did.
You did?
I whipped them eggs.
Yeah, but you'd already been fighting with that whisk for like 2 rounds. You was done. You was over it by then.
There's a lot of eggs to whisk.
You'll see our other stuff we already have frozen. Don't look.
Okay, so our setup.
Don't judge.
Our refrigerator is uneven, okay, first of all. But we are using the plastic lids to pre-freeze the eggs, and we had to have some kind of spacer between them. So I didn't have any chopsticks readily available, so we're just using these lids to keep spacers between them so we can pour the eggs on there. The tray beside them, we can only do about 3 at a time because of the height, but we've already got 3 trays over there pre-frozen, and that's what they look like after they freeze.
Just flip them over and they pop right out.
Yep, they're on the silver trays ready to go, so they're just sitting there waiting on the next 3 trays to get done so we can put them in the freeze dryer.
I think it's really dropping down the back.
Let's see what it does and we can move it if we need to. Go ahead.
It's nice. I'm watching. I don't have to try. Hey, I already moved the full tray once. I ain't doing it again. That back corner. It's coming to this way now.
You can do it.
Alright, remember, it's on video. She said do it. It's pretty high in the
I
back.
can't see the back anyways.
It's pretty high in the back. Ooh. What happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
It just bumped and shifted.
Oh.
Like a lid slid. Oh.
Okay, time out.
Middle one's about to jib out the front. It's like the, I don't know what it is. It's not right. On the outside, the bottom one did catch everything that ran over. Bump and shoot. We gotta get some better option.
Okay. Okay, I don't know exactly what you saw because, you know, my butt may have been all up in the way. If you have any other ideas. Because that's the only space right now we have that we have been able to put in the freezer because all of our freezers are full because I've been cutting and chopping and dicing and freezing, flash freezing a lot of stuff this year because of course we knew the freeze dryer was coming. So yeah, I will show you how we transfer them over to the trays once they are frozen. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so now that they've frozen, we're going to take them out of the freezer and go ahead and pop them in the stainless steel trays. And you can do this with any fruit or vegetable or liquid. We just put our tray on top of the lid, flip the lid over, and then you can twist them like an ice tray and they'll pop right out. There you go. They are pre-frozen, and then these will go straight into the freeze dryer. So I'm gonna carefully take all 6 of these trays out to the freeze dryer and get it loaded up. Y'all come on. Okay, so we're out here in, well, this is my sewing room, but the freeze dryer was out here in the sewing room. Pantry is behind you guys. Stevie came out here a couple of hours ago and went ahead and pushed start on the freeze dryer, and that's all he did. What that does is it starts a 15-minute countdown to go ahead and cool the chamber. We're down to 16 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment because, like I said, it's been running for a couple of hours. So all I'm going to do, and it gives you directions on the screen, is to go ahead and close the drain valve. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get the trays loaded up. They're so cold they're burning my fingers. And then all we are going to do is hit continue. And it's freezing. It's already down to 11 degrees now. So it's not going to take very long to actually do the freezing phase. Doing your items in the freeze dryer that are pre-frozen is the best way to go. Of course, I'm still learning, and what we have already done, of course, you've seen the cucumber chips. That did take forever because they were fresh. Well, we did a load right after that I did not video because, you know, it's the same thing. We did it pre-frozen, and it cut it down by 20 hours doing the pre-frozen. So the first run we did, I think it was like 52 hours. The second run pre-frozen ended up being about 30, 32. So this is not going to take very long with the chamber already being at, when I opened it up it was 16, now it's down to 11. It's going to go down to what we have it set at is 0. It'll go to 0, and then it will actually start the drying phase. So it's not going to take very long. It'll probably take less than 2 hours to complete the freezing phase. And that's just getting everything to the correct temperature that it needs to be, and then it'll start the drying phase. Of course, this is our first time doing eggs, so I don't know how long it's going to take, but we will probably, it'll probably take at least 20 hours. That's about the average of pre-frozen items like this. So it'll probably take about 20-ish hours, but I'll bring you back tomorrow whenever we come check on it. And it'll probably be in the morning, and I'll probably look just as bad because I just got out of the shower. But we'll come back in the morning and check on it and see if they're done. Okay, eggs are finally done. How long did they take? 32 hours?
31 hours. Because it got so hot in here. So because of the warm room warning's up because the heat index was like 113 today, so.
And it comes on the warm room temperature error message alert thing. It's not an error message, it's an alert. It says the processing may take a little bit longer, but that comes on whenever it's 84 degrees we have found in the room. Because with 83 degrees, it doesn't come on. With 84 degrees, it does. It's 87 in here now. So we put this fan up right here to help cool it. But this is the oil-free pump, so it doesn't get hot like the Premier pump.
But it still puts off heat.
But it being the heat index of 100 and enough, it's hot in here, even with a little mini air conditioner over there. So it took longer. So we have found that, you know, on these days that it's going to be hot as Hades in, you know, outside, that we may not need to run the freeze dryer. But we did pre-freeze the eggs, and with the excessive temperatures, it still took 31, 32 hours. And there's the message we're talking about, the warm room temperature. So that's the one we're talking about. So the runtime was 34 hours, but minus about 3 hours because this starts counting down at 12. 2 hours? Okay. So a little bit less than 2.5 hours. So there you go.
I got a vent it first to get suction on it.
Oh.
it says, drying cancels, open drain valve. What?
You have an inchworm on your shirt.
Oh. What inches weighted? Okay. Well, tell me what all I got from mowing.
Steven's been cutting the grass. Okay, so he released the pressure. Here, take your inchworm outside. He's pretty stuck. Okay. Alright, here. And these are frozen like this because if you remember, we froze them inside of the lids, and so they're in little blocks. Okay. Oh, these are hot. It's still 128 degrees in there, but this is the what they look like pre-frozen, but these are freeze-dried and done. So we are going to go ahead and process these and get these put up real quick. Okay, so to process these, I'm going to get some jars, and I brought my KitchenAid food processor out here, and we're going to actually go ahead and powder this up and then vacuum seal it in the jars. Alright. Might need to turn the fan off so it don't blow it everywhere. I want my eggs in the pantry, not all over the pantry. Alright. Yes, these are the camera. Alright, so you guys see the frozen pattern here.
Yeah. Okay.
It breaks apart very, very easy. So we're going to break these apart and put them in the food processor and then grind them up to powder. We'll start with one block and see how far that gets us. We're going to keep on doing this until we get all of the eggs processed. So what we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarts and a half gallon, so 6, 7 quarts. We ended up getting And we could probably compress it down to 6 quarts. But that is about 2 dozen a jar. If we were to get it down to 6 quarts, because we did almost 12 dozen, so that'll be 2 dozen per quart jar. So we've got them all vacuum sealed. We have the oxygen absorbers in there, and we've got to just label these, and we're going to go ahead and date them. We're not using these right away, so that's why we put the oxygen absorbers in there. And then as soon as we get all the oxygen absorbers used in the jars, we go ahead and vacuum seal them back up. Now, Harvest Right does have a little indicator right there. It is still pink. It looks kind of mauve right now. It's still pink, so these are still good, and as long as they stay vacuum sealed up where there's no oxygen in there for them to be used for, then they will stay good. So whenever you are putting your oxygen absorbers in either your bags or your jars, do it all at one time. Just open it, bam, 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 and then seal it back up, and then you can start sealing your jars or bags or whatever you need to. So we've got our eggs done. This is about 150 eggs. We had a few that I ended up having to use as leftovers because of the way the trays were sitting in the refrigerator. But this is about 150 eggs, or about 12 dozen. And we've got that many still sitting on the counter. So we've got to get caught up on eggs, so we'll be doing another batch of this. You want to step over here with me? Uh-oh. It's the headless homesteader again.
Right.
Alright guys, so thanks for joining us and stopping by. I hope this inspires you to do some eggs in a freeze dryer if you have one. If not, I hope it gives you some directions on how to freeze dry the eggs once you get your own freeze dryer. Don't forget about our affiliate link down below, and also, what was I going to say? Oh, the layaway program. If you want to get a freeze dryer, go ahead and put it on layaway now. Pay it off as you go. No interest, no credit check. Just pay as you go. No monthly payment. So just put it on layaway, get everything you need. If you wanted more details about it in our first video, I will link it, and go back and watch it for all of those details. So thanks for stopping by, and until next time guys, we will see you later. Bye!